Hi guys, Gareth here from Heartfelt Horsemanship. We're just doing some leading training with this little quarter horse colt. We call it leading with leadership. Jamie's working him up against the fence so that he doesn't have an extra option to wheedle around, and the aim here is to get him leading straight and next to Jamie and not barging on this side. So you'll see there he's barging ahead on Jamie, and we start as gentle as possible, but we get to as firm as necessary. Now it's very quick for a colt to learn to push onto your space. This boy will likely be a breeding stallion. Only 2.5 now, but that decision will be made later. And with that, his handling, he needs to be able to be handled with ease. Even if he never does an in-hand cover, he'll be led to mares, and he'll be shown, very likely shown in hand. So he needs to be able to stick with his handler. That's a lot of focus for the little guy. But this is an exercise that's definitely worth doing. You don't have to get it 100% in one go. You just build it up as you go. So Jamie's, when he stops with his shoulder into Jamie, Jamie will yield his forequarters across. He's kind of distracted, Jamie just carries on. So if he had stayed focused on Jamie, Jamie would have given a longer dwell time there. But he got distracted, so Jamie just carried on, moved to the next thing. And have a look at saddles as he goes past. Well, that's already looking 100 times better.
My elbow's not getting sore anymore.
Yeah, so Jamie's walking with the elbows out with every barge into her. Instead of knocking her, he just ran into her elbow. And we need to be able to lead on both sides of the horse. It's a little more difficult for him on this side, and that's okay. But we'll get there. And he's young, he's looking around at everything. Focus is like a muscle. So what we start with, what we accept when we start, in terms of how long he can focus, that's going to grow every session in terms of what our expectations are. Right now we'll just take tolerance, and then as we grow, we're going to go for him accepting and being considerate of us.
And this is how we're actually going to teach our horse to yield to the halter. Halter training doesn't have to be a violent, complicated situation. Halter training can be passive and progressive. We need to move our horses from one place to the other. So I'm going to have low expectations today, but I'm going to set him up to understand that he is not allowed to step on me, he's not allowed to push on me, he has no reason to pull back. If he does pull away from me, I'm inside of an arena, I'm inside of a fence. So by the time that I walk him back down the driveway to his paddock, we actually have some communication going versus me just getting walked on. We'll do this every single time that we leave him. We are not going to just drag him around and let him kind of do what he wants back there. I want every minute with my horse to count. So when I work on leading, I can work on it the minute I put the halter on my horse. By the time that I get where I'm going, a lot of my groundwork training has already been worked on. I'm not wasting a single second when I'm leading these horses around, and I have some rules. I can't get stepped on. He needs to stay focused and engaged with me, and he also needs to yield with the halter. So instead of battling with him with the halter, I'm going to compel him to follow me. And I'd like to make an art form out of leading. So that's why I call it leading with leadership. My idea is, shall we dance? And if he doesn't come with me, I'm going to help him follow. What I don't want is I don't want to have this line tight the entire time that we're walking, because my horse is not going to learn to yield to the halter. If they can't yield to the halter, they can't yield to the bridle. So even though he's just a baby, we are already doing the taming that is required before we do our riding training. Western horses are not shown in bits, or shouldn't be shown in bits, and they need to be able to walk calmly and confidently next to their handlers. In particular, a stallion. Behavior counts for a lot of their score. So if he is going to be a potential breeding stallion, he is going to be shown. This right here is setting him up to be a winner because he's learning how to behave. Thanks guys very much for your time. If you have questions, heartfeltkzn@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Facebook. Please like and share our videos if you're happy with what you see, and we'll see you next time.